Hello and welcome to our interview series as part of the conference on Unsettled Europe, Refugee States and Politics in Southeast Europe. We are here with Julija Sardelic from the University of Liverpool, who just gave a presentation on the migrant or transit migration in the Western Balkans. You mentioned during your talk that the concept of transit migration is a new concept. Can you elaborate on that?
So thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. So we talk about transit migration. The term itself is really like present in migration studies. However, the content of what is transit migration is changing right now. Because, for example, if we consider previous migration theory, we could see that not only theory, but also policies, for example, EU policies. Basically, transit countries were always countries outside the EU, and now all of a sudden, with the Western Balkan route, we have countries that are in the EU, but are still positioned as transit countries. But that happens also because there is some lack of definition in EU regulations. For example, EU Dublin III regulation, there is no definition of transit country there. And that's why these countries were somehow positioned when Germany took the discretionary clause from Article 17 in the Dublin III regulation to take a number of refugees that weren't claiming asylum as a first country in Germany. So basically they were able to position themselves as transit countries because of this certain gap in Dublin III regulation, and this is something new. So how the Western Balkan route operated and the cooperation on something that was called transit migration was really something new that's what I'm trying to show in my research, and also that it does affect something what we understand as politics of diversity, especially that it turns more to temporary statuses than it did even before.
It seems that this new phenomenon, let's say, has also caused for a new rhetoric to be used in the countries of the Western Balkans. You mentioned some examples of how different leaders reacted to the migrant route with the rhetoric of they don't want to stay here anyway. Can you please explain how they reacted, the different leaders reacted?
So that's very interesting. So there was a really typical rhetoric that everybody just wants to go to Germany. Partially okay, that's true, because of many different reasons. However, it's also this was a self-fulfilling prophecy. They don't want to stay anyway, because these countries position themselves, also through rhetorics of leaders, position themselves as transit countries. It's very interesting why this happened. My claim is that all the law and policies basically in relations to refugees were created in some different contexts. So they were creating after the disintegration of Yugoslavia and post-Yugoslav wars, that's especially when it comes to post-Yugoslav countries. And it was created in this context, and it was somehow tailor-made for this context, but not for different refugee crisis. I'm using the refugee crisis, of course, in inverted commas, because it's a problematic term. So that's why some of these countries position themselves as transit countries, because there were no viable policies how to integrate this big population of people who were passing through. And that was very visible, as you said in your question, and also in the rhetorics of different political leaders, so prime ministers and so on, who were saying, we will treat basically we'll treat these people while they're passing with as humanitarian as possible. But the question comes, we basically do not have the means to settle them, not this big mass and so on. So it was this ambiguous rhetoric. On one hand, solidarity with people who are passing, but questionable whether this solidarity continues when these people would want to settle somewhere. Only that, yeah.
Do you feel that the legal response has been adequate in the countries of the Western Balkans in this respect?
This is quite a tricky question. So I have a feeling that most of the legal response was tailor-made to perpetuate the transit migration. That's what I have a feeling right now. And there was a lot more focus on this, how to basically continue with the transit migration until the Western Balkan route was formally closed. Then the question of integration, and this is the question that comes now. So, okay, we have people who are coming, and presumably they would want to stay, which is normal. So how do they basically how the coexistence starts and so on? That's something that wasn't present, and the question is not so much also with the refugees who are coming, but with the majority population, because like it was proven that there was like a lot of also racist attacks of refugees, asylum, refugee camps, and so on. So the question is, so what do we do? What are the policies towards majority population, not only refugees, basically?
Thank you very much for your answers and for being with us here today. I hope you have a lovely rest of the conference.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here, and it's a really great conference. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you.